Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Rider Club Radio. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Liam.
And this week we watched Kamen Rider Ghost episode 42, Animal Sentai Zyuohger episode 23. I really miss Amazons.
I just thought you missed an and there. I thought there was going to be a third show.
No.
What did I miss?
We didn't watch Ultraman again. I guess you got that.
We both missed Ultraman. Look, I've been a busy man this week, okay?
Yeah, okay. Why don't you use all the experience you gained from being busy this week to tell us what happened in Kamen Rider Ghost?
I was busy watching Ghost 42 6 times.
I could hardly make it through it once. Spoilers on my opinion later, if you've never listened to this podcast before.
Ghost is not good?
Shock of all shockers.
Okay, so this week, for the first entire 15 minutes of the episode, it's just two big fights that happen with no reason or consequence. Just Adele comes into the world, and they have a fight, and then they win, and then Adele runs away. Twice in a row.
They don't win. Adele wins.
They fight them to a standstill, and then Adele leaves.
Adele wins, and then they run away
Whatever.
both times. Did you watch this 6 times, or did you not?
I watched it once.
Wow.
Look, there's a fight, and everyone runs away. And the magistrate appears, and he is revealed to be the sage, secretly, from the very start.
If I was ever gonna vomit during a scene in any Kamen Rider in all of history, it would probably be that scene. I feel like I got the closest.
Let's talk about that later. I have a lot to say.
Ejecting the contents of my stomach.
I have a lot to say about that scene.
Go ahead.
Everyone gets angry at him for lying, and if you remember last time, this episode is apparently about rage. Because Beethoven...
I didn't remember, actually.
Beethoven comes out and he says, you gotta rage against fate, Takeru. You gotta rage. So everyone gets mad, and Takeru's like, yo, it's rage. It's rage. Everyone's raging. That's really important. And Takeru, he says 3 lines, and everyone's like, gosh, all my anger is melted away. Takeru's such an amazing dude. That's just like him. I feel so much better just having heard his voice for a little bit.
I love how they're the sage is I was manipulating everything from the beginning, and I could have brought Takeru back to life, but now he's gonna fucking die in 8 days or whatever. I'm sorry. And everybody's understandably wow, fuck you, Sage, you're a piece of shit. And then Takeru's no, we must forgive him because
wow, he is a shining beacon of morality and goodness at the center of the world. This Takeru.
I hate Takeru.
Don't say it too loud, they'll hear you. Oh boy. So Takeru is the best guy ever. They go to fight Adele because Adele appears again. Adele appears, and they go to fight him. And Edith, during this fight, reveals that he fought Ryu. So they first meet. He fights Ryu, and he fights him, and Ryu beats him with the help of the Musashi Ghost. And
yeah, how weak is Edith?
Yeah,
that he got his ass beat by a middle-aged man with a sword.
He's got Ultima form. And he loses to 2 middle-aged men with swords.
Why isn't Ryu Kamen Rider Ghost? He would have mopped this shit up with Self-Soul.
Because he's dead.
Yeah, so's Takeru.
Don't spoil. So Edith...
He's dead 3 times over, as a matter of fact.
Edith was disguising himself as the sage so that he could egg Takeru on to beat the Ganma. He could, guide him secretly. But that fucked up because he didn't realize that Takeru was going to do it really, really slowly. And
he was 99 days seems like long enough.
Surely, that's plenty of time, right? Nope. You fucked. So his whole plan is fucked now. They're fighting Adele, and they beat Adele, and Ghost kneels down and gives him a hand, and Adele says, no, I'm going to get the ultimate power. And he goes into a portal. And that's the end of the episode. So Jeff, what did you think of Kamen Rider Ghost episode 42?
There was a little bit of goodwill towards this show appearing last episode when we were both yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, the last episode was a step up.
Things had progressed towards maybe not being terrible eventually. All of that goodwill's gone.
They had one chance, they threw it away.
This is one of the worst episodes of the show.
This is the biggest and fastest drop in quality the show has ever taken.
You thought that there was a basement previously, that there was the lowest level, but it turns out they built a bunker under that motherfucker, and that's where this episode went.
It's a sub-basement beneath the basement.
I was mad. It's like, I talk a lot about how this show doesn't... The writers of the show don't know the word summarize. They don't know that shit at all. There's no summarizing of anything. We're gonna go through every single step of this thing on camera, and you're gonna sit there and fucking watch it.
I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to show... Well, I guess there's no fucking point, really. There's no point to the fight scene between Edith and Ryu. There's no... Like, it shows a bit, but it doesn't, like, reveal anything about their character or their relationship that's important to the story or important to their characters at all.
Important to the story, no. I guess it shows something that's important to their characters in that it shows how Ryu and the Sage became friends to begin with.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Which is a question no one asked.
Yeah. I know I didn't. We didn't ask it last week.
No.
But I appreciate that it was a flashback and not a monologue. We were talking about that last week about how...
Yeah, they showed. They didn't tell.
They showed it, and that's fine.
Although they did tell, because they had... they were trying to draw a fucking parallel, and instead of just showing the two scenes side by side or whatever, or flashing back and forth, they had Edith say the exact same fucking words that Adele was saying.
That's a crazy
And Ryu
coincidence,
said
eh?
the exact same fucking words that Takeru said.
Crazy, so weird that even 10 years apart, the same thing would happen again.
Except it didn't, so it was pointless.
Almost the same thing happens again.
But my problem with the summary is that we learned that emotions are good, which is apparently the lesson behind Ghosts.
That's the theme of these past two episodes is rage can be useful sometimes. Let the hate flow through you.
Since he got fucking his ultimate upgrade, infinite form, it's all been about emotions.
Because remember way back, we found out all of his attacks are like emotions, elation stream and enjoyment strike and rage slash or whatever.
Elation stream sounds pretty hot. I'm just saying.
Elation stream sounds like a really high class porno. You pay like $100 for that shit. I get what they're trying to do, but like they make the whole episode centered around it, and it's this weird like cardboard cutout like cereal box presentation of each emotion.
Exactly. There's no summary. It's not. Emotions are what makes humanity have their infinite potential. It's happiness is what makes humanity have their infinite potential. Sadness is what makes humanity have their infinite potential. Brotherhood is what makes humanity have its infinite potential. One after the other. Fucking endlessly. It's half the episode.
The problem I have with it is it feels tacked on. It feels like, oh, this is the episode where Takeru gets Rage Slash. I think it's called Rage Slash. Which means we have to have one episode where everybody breaks character and gets super pissed at this one defenseless old man.
So that fuck we can... Edith.
Okay, but like, they in any other episode of Ghost, I bet you dollars to donuts, I would bet my fucking soul, my fucking self-soul icon, that he would say, I was the dude, I was fucking manipulating, I was a secret two-man, and everyone would say, okay, I see what you did. But this has to be the episode where everyone gets mad.
So you're mad that everyone acted like a human being in this show that we've complained about no one acting like a human being in?
No. They don't act like human beings.
They do act like human beings. Would you not be pissed the fuck off?
Okay, but they all have the exact same synchronized reaction that begins and ends at the same second.
That's Ghost.
That's what I'm saying. Is it's artificial. It feels so manufactured.
Well, that's Ghost. Everything in Ghost is manufactured.
I guess, but I'm fucking complaining about it. That's what we do.
I agree with your complaint on that end.
That's what we do.
Seeing them actually, at least for a minute, react like normal human beings. Like I was behind it all. I could have brought Takeru back at any moment. I'm basically Snidely fucking Whiplash. I'm evil incarnate. And people don't just go, oh no! Big trouble, guys!
But they do say that.
About something else.
Yeah.
They're just like, wow, you're a fucking piece of shit. You old limp dick bastard. I bet your penis doesn't even work anymore because you're so fucking old.
Old and a ghost. It would have been refreshing if it felt anywhere close to real. It didn't feel real to me at all.
It felt real until people besides Onari and Akari got mad.
Like, I don't think Shibuya
when everybody
and
started
Narita would have...
Yeah. Why do they care? They don't even know Takeru's last name.
Takeru makes them meet in the closet.
Well, fucking, that's my problem from that moment on. Like, Onari, Akari, fine. They get mad. Everybody around them is like, oh no, guys.
Sure.
You know, however they want to act. Those two are Takeru's actual friends. They're the ones who we focused on their reactions to Takeru dying 23 times, however many times he's died now.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. At least it felt like a normal human reaction to a villain. And he is a villain. I don't care how happy-go-lucky he becomes from now on. He's a villainous piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Revealing his evil plan to you. In The Watchmen, when Veight's like, I did it 35 minutes ago or whatever, people aren't just like, oh no!
Guys, big trouble. Rorschach, big trouble.
They're like, wow, fuck you, Veight, you piece of shit. And then Veight catches a bullet. You ever read Watchmen?
That was the sickest part in the whole book.
Yeah, he catches a bullet.
And Silk Spectre's like, oh fuck.
Silk Sexter.
Silk Sexter. That was the Zack Snyder version. Funny enough, I don't know why they changed the name in the movie. It was weird.
But he catches a bullet, and then,
everybody's
mad. Yeah, everybody's mad.
Everyone gets pissed.
And everybody's mad at the Sage, and then Takeru's like, no guys, don't be mad, because I love him. I love him so much. And everybody's like, you know what, Takeru's right. He didn't put forth any evidence or any reasoning, but he's right.
That was my favorite part of the episode, because Takeru shows how great he is. He forgives the old man. Isn't he fantastic? Isn't he such a great main character? I can't get enough of him, honestly. Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
He's so fucking generic. It's like, people always complain like, oh, Superman's such a fucking goody two-shoes.
You don't know.
He doesn't have a personality.
Yeah.
Fucking watch Kamen Rider Ghost.
Here's what I think when I see Takeru. I think of someone who watched Kuga and said, "Ooh, that Godai guy sure is cool," and they decided to write a whole series where they tell you the main character is cool like Godai, but they don't actually make him cool like Godai.
They watched Kuga and they were like, "Oh, that Godai sure is nice and heroic. I don't like any of this personality shit he's putting forward, but I like the fact that he's a hero, so I'm gonna do that."
I don't like when he displays how nice and heroic he is. I just like the idea.
He forgave the Sage for no reason. And now then he forgave Adele for no reason. If I was Alan, and Takeru's like, I'm gonna go forgive Adele so hard, I'd be like, dude, he fucking murdered my father. He killed him, like, right in front of me.
You know, since we always give completely unrealistic suggestions of Ghost every week, you know what would have been the sickest scene? Is
watching
Ghost,
a different show?
Yes. Ghost holds his hand out to Adele, and before Adele can even react, imagine if fucking Alan came and just ran him through from behind. And Ghost was like, holy fuck! And Alan was like, sorry, bud. Not happening. And then you could have Alan be, I don't know, like, that could actually lead to, like, an ideological difference that might end in, like, a Rider versus Rider as the final fight, or something cool.
There are no Rider versus Rider in this anymore. It's just, there was a little bit, and then none, and then there was a little bit, and never again.
Everyone's friends now.
Adele's gonna be friends eventually. That's Takeru's goal now. I'm gonna befriend him so hard.
My name's Tenkuji Takeru, and I'm gonna befriend everybody at Managawa High School.
You know what? People talk about Forze like he was a fucking idiot for wanting to be friends with everybody, but he never tried to be friends with the murderous psychopaths trying to open a gate to space.
He probably coulda.
He didn't bother.
Yeah, he probably coulda if he tried.
I don't know. It's like, I'm gonna be an old man for a second and complain about new things.
Okay, do it.
But there's this, like, weird movement in media and stuff where it's like, don't fight enemies, make friends with them instead. Like, you know, in, like, Undertale or, like, shonen anime and shit like that.
Yeah, if you kill him, you're just like him. You'd be just as bad as him.
But here's the thing. The monsters in Undertale are attacking you. You can't defend yourself? That's against the rules?
What if you just beat him up and run away?
You don't have to kill him.
Okay, yeah. I suppose.
Just defend yourself or whatever. But, like, no, you have to make friends with Adele, who murdered your friend's father right in front of his fucking eyes.
Yeah. Well.
And tried to murder your sister. As far as they know, his sister's dead, and Adele killed her too.
Ayla, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know she's still alive.
That's true. That's true. She's in the red lights.
Yeah. That wasn't even explained either. Like, there's just red lights that if you're in them, it makes force field.
Yeah, that was, Adonis was in them too, I think.
Yeah.
I think his were purple? I don't know.
Do you remember how bad of an actor Adonis was?
Yeah, he was really fucking good.
I just want to throw it back to that for a second. Like, he was fucking terrible. It was like he was reading off of a teleprompter. No wonder he's dead.
Oh, almost everybody in Ghost is reading off of a teleprompter, I'm sure.
They could use it sometimes. I don't know. I don't like this series. I run into a lot of opposition.
I think so. This episode contains the best scene in all of Ghost, and that's when the sage comes out and reveals that he's two people. He was Edith all along, and that it's I don't know what do you call the opposite of a payoff? Cost on. It's like, I can't believe they treat it like it's. Okay, if you watch One Piece, there's this great gag where one of the crew members goes off and becomes kind of a superhero. He puts on a mask.
Usopp becomes Soge King.
Yeah, and the joke is that it's really obviously Usopp, but no one can tell. And in the end, when he takes off the mask, everyone's like, "Holy shit!" And it's played for comedy.
Only Luffy and Chopper can't tell that he's Usopp.
And it's played for comedy. And in this, it's like if that was 100% serious and they expected you to actually care when he pulls his mask off. And I wasn't even sure. It's one of those things where, like, I don't even know what they're intending with this scene. Like, is it supposed to be funny, or...
If I'm gonna go back to, like, a Superman analogy, it's like Edith and... You might think that Edith and the Sage is, like, Clark Kent and Superman. Like, how can people not tell them that they're the same guy?
Mm.
But Edith and the Sage is, like, Clark Kent and Superman if Clark Kent wore a blue skin-tight costume without an S on it and a red cape everywhere he went. And he just slapped the S on his chest.
It's like shit. It's like...
That's a good way to describe it.
I can't
believe they did that. I literally cannot believe that was a real thing. Like, that's an Onion parody.
It should have been... I feel like it should have been a scene that maybe all the characters don't find out, and he just sort of gives a little wink to the audience at the end. But, like, instead it's this huge reveal, we're the same person, and you're like, oh, okay.
I really wish everybody would have been like, yeah, no duh.
Yeah. Yeah. That
would have been hilarious.
It's like watching The Empire Strikes Back nowadays, and when Darth Vader says he's Luke's father, and you're like, yeah, everyone knows. Even if you haven't seen the movies, you know. It's not a spoiler anymore.
It's like if Darth Vader wore a name tag that said Anakin Skywalker on his chest.
He might have been
tried
Luke's
that
brother.
Reveal anyway.
You don't know. Might have been Luke's long-lost brother, Anakin.
I can't... Except Obi-Wan says Anakin was a great Jedi, you fucking pleb. But I can't believe that. Like, I was aghast when that happened. I was like, that was really supposed to be a secret. We as an audience were not supposed to pick up on that.
Well, to be fair, he could have been like a twin brother or like something like that. They could have had some other connection. I was expecting some horseshit thing about how they both were the same person and their souls split in two or something.
No, fuck that. I knew it was the same guy pretending. I called that forever ago.
They went with the simplest, most boring explanation and treated it like it was earth-shattering.
Like, how are we supposed to ever trust this character again?
I don't know.
Because Takeru does? Takeru's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, Takeru vouched for him, so he must be right. If Takeru vouches for him, I'll follow him to fucking hell and back.
They're like, you manipulated Takeru to do what you want. What's to stop him from doing that again? How do you know he's not still doing that? He's the one who told you about all the forms and shit you have.
I could bring him back to life before, but I can't now. Not until you beat the Ganmisers. Not until you do everything I need you to do, and then I can bring you back again. Then the power comes back.
Do you remember last episode when Edith was like, "It's time for you to start working towards my goal, Spectre," and then Adele just punched him, and then they ran into a like a teleporter thing, and then that whole plot line was over before it even started.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very well-written show.
Also, we find out this episode that the reason why there's so many Makotos running around is because of Deep Spectre.
Of course.
I don't know the logistics of it, but just when you use it, clones of you appear.
Deep Spectre uses power from the Great Eye, and the Ganmizers are connected to the Great Eye or whatever, so that they can make duplicates of whoever's using it.
Okay, that's stupid as fuck.
Use your brain. I know you usually have to turn that shit off when you're watching Kamen Rider Ghost.
I revert to a vegetative state for 22 minutes when the show turns on.
I cannot believe they fucking did a big reveal. Like, we're not supposed to know. Like, hey kids, did you know? Write in and tell us. And all the kids write on their little notebook pads, of course we fucking knew, you shitty ass writers.
We're 8, but we're not brain dead.
Signed Hiroshi, age 4.
Signed little Hiroshi-kun.
I fucking hate this show.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Is that all we have to say about Ghost?
I finished watching it and I was like, maybe I should not watch Tokusatsu anymore. Because it's not meant for me.
But the Zyuohger episode this week was good.
Yeah, it was. Spoiler.
And next week's is gonna
Spoiler if you haven't listened to this podcast before. Zyuohger's good and Ghost is bad.
Spoilers for like 10-15 minutes from now when we talk about Zyuohger.
Yeah. How about we fuck off with Ghost? I still can't believe they did that, Liam.
It's time. I know, Jeff. It's over. We're gonna get through it together. You want to hear some news?
Sure.
Okay, so this week only 2 things happened, but they're both fucking huge.
Yes.
So this week, we've been doing a lot of speculation about Exaid, but mostly all we can guess at is just like little story details and like aesthetics and things like that. But this week, a bunch of the staff was revealed for Kamen Rider Exaid, the producers and the writer, most importantly.
Mm-hmm.
So the producer was the chief producer on Drive and Kyoryuger, so that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people apparently don't like Kyoryuger very much.
Well, Kyoryuger, I hear, has its issues, but Drive was good.
Yeah, Drive has its issues too, if you think back on it, but I do like it.
Yeah.
So we'll at least get a serviceable series.
So
hopefully.
The script writer is Yuya Takahashi, and you remember those Type Tokujo specials about the murder mystery for Drive?
Yes.
Those weren't very good, which worries me a little bit, but he also wrote Lupin the Third, Part 4. Did you see that, Jeff?
No, I didn't see Part 4.
No? Okay, well...
Is that the one where he has a red jacket?
I don't know. I'm not
familiar. He has a blue jacket in Part 4. That's how you tell the parts apart.
And the director is Shojiro Nakazawa. He did Geki Ranger, Shinkenger, Gokaiger, Kamen Rider Wizard!
Look, that was a really good list up until a certain point, Liam. And that point was Wizard. But...
He's done a bunch of Sentai and he's done Wizard, which is also very worrying.
Shinkenger was excellent. I love Shinkenger, and Gokaiger was also really good, so...
Okay, well... Cautiously optimistic.
Although, the fact that the only Rider series I know that he's written was bad is kind of,
Directed. This is the director.
Directed, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's,
There was really good, like, cinematic direction in Wizard. Like, there was a lot of really good fight choreography in it as well.
Yeah, Wizard, if nothing else, Wizard was, like, aesthetically a nice show.
Unlike Ghost. Ghost is aesthetically good suits, shit fights.
Everything else is pretty bad, yeah, the suits are
boring
nice,
cinematography for the most part. Few moments that are good.
Yawn-inducing cinematography. Also, the Bugster computer viruses, those things we already know about, the monsters, they infect people. They come out of video games and they go into people. I guess it's gonna be like a thing, like Kamen Rider.
Why is it, that's so prevalent now? I guess because it's really simple and you don't have to use, like, makeup or anything to make humans look different in their human form.
And also,
they just have to be normal people.
Yeah, you can have the monsters, like, emoting and having facial expressions. That's why there's so many Toku monsters. They always have the ability to turn into people, or they possess people, or whatever. It's been like that ever since the 1970s.
Yeah. There's always something different about the humans in most series, though. Like, a little bit of makeup under the eyes, or like they're wearing weird outfits.
You might have something like that.
Hopefully.
So you use the little chibi form to take the Bugster out of the host. That's what the stupid looking level 1 form is, and then you turn to level 2 to fight them. That's how it goes.
How do you turn into a tiny little chibi man, though?
All you have to do is put the belt on. I think. You put the belt on and it turns you into Chibi Man, and then you pull like a lever on the belt, and that turns you into full level
That's
2.
weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I like that, but, you know, if it's a comedic series, like 100%, like 100%, like if it's a 75-25 split from comedic to action, that'll work fine.
Yeah, actually, it's been a while since we had a rider that was just funny the whole way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that one bit.
No, it depends on the style of humor, because you and I have both talked about some Japanese humor being a little over the top for us.
The cultural barrier is sometimes quite strong.
But I mean, I figure it's actually probably a little stronger for you, since I like Den-O.
Oh, yeah. I always call Den-O the one that's full of weirdo Japanesey shit. Not knocking Den-O, but...
There's a lot of Japanese-style humor in Den-O,
it is
and
the
it
most
does
weirdo
get a
Japanesey
little...
show.
It does get a little bit too much at times, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I like Den-O just fine, so...
But yeah, I don't know... It's not exactly what I'd call a red flag, but it's not raising any green flags either.
This isn't like a dream team scenario or anything.
Not really. We'll have to wait and see. We can't judge yet. I want to stay optimistic about this.
Yeah, I'm going to stay optimistic about it. It looks like a really cool concept. The suits look really cool to me.
Yeah.
Everybody who's working on it has done at least one or two things that are good in the past.
Yeah.
So it could be a really amazing series.
Who knows? We'll have to wait and see when it starts.
I will take not rage-inducing. If it's that good, it just doesn't make me mad all the time, I'll be fine.
I'll take okay. I'd accept okay at this point. I'll be happy with okay.
Yeah, I'd be ecstatic for okay at this point.
I'll take watchable.
Watchable, yeah.
Just something that doesn't make me want to leave.
Ghost is not watchable. You'd be surprised how often we get messages from people saying that they've had to stop. They can't watch Ghost anymore.
Yeah, a lot of our viewership has stopped watching Ghost. The smart ones.
You guys who watch along with us and stuff, you're dying off. You're falling like flies.
You guys, it's like you guys are the real troopers. This is like Vietnam.
The real VR troopers.
The real VR troopers.
I tried to watch VR Troopers. It's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
I tried to watch it. I got 6 minutes and 30 seconds into it and had to turn it off. For the first 5 minutes of the episode, there is not one spoken line that isn't ADR.
My god. Like with an effect over it? Or
it isn't just a voice being added over top of the scene later.
Oh my fucking god.
Yes.
Speaking of that sort of thing, I got that Facebook Messenger app recently.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a little GIF keep, you can do a little search and it'll show you a bunch of GIFs, so you don't have to track them down yourself. And they got Kamen Rider GIFs on there. So I sent a Kamen Rider GIF to a few friends of mine. We were having a discussion and I just shot one to see what they would do. And the first guy's response was like, yo, is that Big Bad Beetleborg? It was G3. And he was like, is that Big Bad Beetleborg's GIF? And I was like, why don't you suck the edge of my dick, buddy?
Look, it pretty much was.
Pretty much. G3 was pretty much a Big Bad
The Facebook
Beetleborg. Messenger
app has Kamen Rider GIFs in it?
It's got some program that's hooked up to some GIF database, and you can search for GIFs of anything you can think of, including a bunch of Kamen Rider stuff in there.
Damn.
Yeah.
I know that, Twitter has that you can, search for GIFs.
Yeah, a lot of places have, they call it, a GIF keyboard or something.
They don't call it that. You made that shit up.
I don't know the jargon. A lot of places have GIF databases that you can search through.
We sound like old men sitting in rocking chairs on a porch. I hear they got them GIF databases.
Hey, you hear about these GIFs? You hear about those Big Bad Beetleborgs?
Hey, did you ever hear about them moving pictures?
Yeah, I saw one called Ghost the other day. It was fucking shit.
Oh, God. I leave Ghost until right before we record.
I watched it earlier today.
I can't live with that in my brain without screaming about it into a mic.
I had the day off today, so I got up and I had a nice hearty breakfast. And when I was all ready and full of energy, I watched Ghost, and it just sucked my whole soul out. So I had to eat a second breakfast afterwards.
He just laid face down in his bed until recording time came. What's the second news story?
The second news story is breaking. This dropped an hour ago, and it's fucking mind-blowing. This is the weirdest thing. There's a Kamen Rider Blade V Cinema coming?
Yep.
A little mini Kamen Rider Blade movie's coming. The actor that plays, I think it was Chalice, came out and said, "Yep, it's coming." So yeah, that's it's not been like officially confirmed as far as I can tell, but
Yeah, this is all according to Nihon Hero.
Nihon Hero. Yeah, we'll have the link to the blog post down there where he's got the stuff. But yeah, Kamen Rider Blade v Cinema. You finished Blade what, like last year or a few months ago? Yeah,
around December I think I finished Blade.
Yeah, they're coming back. Did they get Blade himself? I wonder if Blade himself.
It says in the story that Takayuki Tsubaki, who played Kenzaki Blade, had also told that since there was a demand for Kamen Rider Garen's King form in various social networks, that there's a chance that it would be appearing in the V Cinema with him.
Now, there's an actor that I never thought they would bring back.
No, I didn't think they'd bring him back either.
I remember when the Kamen Rider 3 happened, and the Blade Riders featured kind of prominently in it. I think it was Garen they got back for it.
Yeah.
And Blade was in it, but they didn't get Kenzaki back. And I said, well, that's obvious. It's because he got his dick sucked in the back of a van on video.
He got his dick sucked in the back of a van before Blade.
Yeah, but still, it came out after Blade, and they said,
it came out during Blade,
no, I mean, like
right at the beginning.
Came to light. It came to light during, like, while the show was already happening, and it was too late to go back. But, like, I didn't think they would ever bring him back after that shit. Like, that was a fiasco.
They've forgotten about it by now. It's time to bring him back.
Well, I haven't.
Nobody in America has. That's all anybody ever talks about.
Fucking word. That's the #1 Blade meme.
I'm looking forward to the V Cinema. I'm not looking forward to the people trying to get us to play Blade memes in the sync tube.
We did it once. It's
forever.
Never happening
You
again.
did it once.
I did it once.
I didn't have shit to do with that. If any memes ever happen, I have nothing to do with them.
Jeff washes his hands. He absolves himself of all memeship.
I do. I'll throw Liam right under the fucking bus.
I will accept full responsibility of the meme apocalypse that happened.
God. Just hearing the word meme wants me... I just want to shoot my fucking head off every time.
The word meme used to be like a scientific term, and then it was like a term that made me upset, and now it's a term that makes me like ironically half laughing, half upset in like a double meta way.
I never got to the ironic enjoyment part.
You were like a little child.
I fucking grabbed the wheel and pulled it, and I just went right off the edge of the cliff into fucking Angerville. So yeah, there's going to be a Kamen Rider Blade V Cinema, and I'm excited for it since I really liked Blade.
Yeah, there's going to be a Blade V Cinema. That's pretty cool. What the fuck's it going to be about, I wonder?
Well, it's apparently going to have Garen King form, maybe.
It can't be a side story because they're all way older now.
And they've also said that the movie might also have a battle between Blade and Chalice.
Yeah.
In forms that would be spoilers to talk about if you haven't seen the series. So, if you have not seen Blade, please do not click the link in our description for this Blade v Cinema, because it has a sizable fucking spoiler at the end of it.
Is the picture a spoiler?
No,
it's like an
the picture's not a spoiler. It's an SIC Garen King form figure.
Just don't read the last paragraph if you're going to click on it. There's a little picture of a Garen figure.
Don't read below it.
Don't read below that. But yeah, Blade v Cinema, that's fucking weird. I can't wait for that.
I can't wait either, if it's real.
I wish there could be more like that. I like little after stories, like a little like, what's Tendo doing 10 years later? What's I don't know, what's Fize doing 10 years later? That's what I liked so much about Heisei vs. Showa.
You saw what Fize was doing 10 years later. He was running a laundromat.
Working at a laundromat. I loved that. God, Fize.
You didn't even watch Fize. Why do you care?
I just think it's really cool. Fize was great in that movie.
He was.
Until he had a really stupid little character arc towards the end. But
that's true. It got a little stupid towards the end
like,
there.
Yo, fucking just kill all the Kamen Riders and make me alive. And Fize is like, yeah, I'll do it. That sounds like a pretty good idea.
Well, I do owe you one.
You were such a nice guy to me, Kusaka.
Everybody loves him. So there's the news this time around. Why don't we talk about Zyuohger a little bit, Liam?
Sure.
What'd you think?
This week on Zyuohger, there's a demon hunter who shows up. A big game monster, super monster hunter. He's like a pirate man from outer space.
Mm-hmm.
He comes in and he's here to fight the strongest. And he gets mixed up in the current Death Galion plot. There's like a real stock Death Galion plot thrown in there. But the real shit's about this demon hunter, or this big monster hunter showing up. And they he joins the Death Galleons. I thought this episode was pretty good. I'm way more excited for the next one. But
Yeah,
let's
me
talk
too.
about that afterwards. I kind of like the shakeup. Zyuohger seems to never let itself get complacent in its plot. It doesn't rest on its laurels.
Which is great. Like, a little bit of a monkey wrench thrown into the formula is always a little bit better to me than just playing out the formula the way, like, straight.
Yeah, even if it's just adding a new character, he seems like a fun guy. When it starts, he's like he's stealing someone's barbecue, and the bad guy blows it up, but he doesn't see. So his whole motivation for the first like 3/4 of the episode is like, who blew up my barbecue? Was it you, multicolored Sentai guys, or was it you monster? And they're both like, it was the other one, sir. He blew it up.
The guy's name is Bunglay.
Bunglay,
Yeah.
which sounds
Bunglay.
sounds like a horrible sex move.
Yeah, Mega Beast Hunter Bunglay.
That's it. He's a mega beast hunter. That was it.
And he comes to Earth to see if there are any Mega Beasts for him to hunt. And he also terrorizes a campsite by stealing their
He
kebabs.
steals the shish kebab from a bunch of Japanese people. It's the Mega Beast Hunter Bunglay is a character who, I don't know, like, he's alright. I can't say I love him or I hate him at this point. He's a nice, like you say, he's a nice little addition. He's a nice little shakeup. He's not earth-shattering, but it's nice that he's there.
Well, he's strong. He's a good threat. He has his own motivations, which separates him from both sides of the conflict so that he can get involved with either, really.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of direction. Like, he doesn't... They let him join because it means he can fight some strongs. They say, hey, if you join us, you'll be able to have lots of fights all the time. And that's a pretty tenuous relationship. So hopefully they can shake that up sometime in the future. There's a lot of potential with the character that I hope they use. But right now, he doesn't do a whole lot.
No, he doesn't do a whole lot. He does have a mysterious power that wasn't explained in this episode, and I'm very glad it wasn't. Even after he joins the Death Galleons, he doesn't explain to them what his power is. The reason they want him to join to begin with is he grabs Leo by his noggin, and his hand glows, and then the mountain climber monster that Leo had so much trouble fighting shows back up.
Oh, yeah.
Under his control and beats the shit out of the Zyuohgers for a few minutes before they defeat him.
Yeah.
So he has a very mysterious power going on that's going to come into play, I'm sure.
What I like about... he's kind of like a replacement for Jew of the World, as, like, he's the extra dude, who's not really a member of the Death Galleons. He's the extra bad guy. But what I like about him is that it means there's going to be more recurring fights, like fights with a recurring character instead of a monster of the week, which I think is always better to have. Just to have that like a little past connection to every fight. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I can agree somewhat. It really depends on the villains that you have. If your villains are boring as shit, I'd much rather have villain of the week type of thing.
Yeah, that's true. But like we said, there's a lot of potential with the big lobe. Bunglay. There's a lot of potential with
You're
Bunglay.
bungling right now.
I know. There's a lot of potential with Bunglay. So we'll have to see where they take him. He might be garbage, but...
He might be. He has kind of a cool design. He has a cool power that could be expanded upon. He has his own... Like I said, he has his own motivations that separate him from everyone else.
And in terms of episode quality, Zyuohger is like 20 for 21 right now, so... Is this 21?
This is 23.
22 for 23 right now.
I didn't really have that big of a problem with the 23rd that you're saying was bad either, if you go back.
Yeah, looking back at it, it was... I didn't like it much, but...
I thought it was okay.
It's a step down from the others, for sure.
It is.
I have faith in the
writers. It's like home runs. It's not like knocking it out of the park and destroying the board or whatever, like the scoreboard, every episode, but it is knocking home runs out.
Yeah. I think they'll be able to do something cool with them. Maybe they'll pull the rug out. Maybe it'll be something really surprising, too.
Well, I mean, the next episode preview has him returning, and it might actually have something to do with his powers, the whole plot line, if you think about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the next episode looks really good.
It does. It looks like it's very character-focused, and it's focused on, like, something heartfelt.
Yeah,
I guess it's not a spoiler to say.
It's not a spoiler. Yamato's parents are both dead.
Yes.
And his mother reappears in the next episode, and talking about, like, there's a lot of... I imagine he's gonna explain what her deal is, and there's one shot of him as a child watching her die in a hospital chair, and I cannot wait for that shit. That's gonna be awesome.
Jesus Christ, Liam.
No, I mean, it's going to be a really good scene, I think.
Yes,
they,
it is.
They do
it's going to be very
scenes
emotional.
Very well. I'm very excited.
This is something I'm going to point out specifically to people who challenge our opinion on Ghost by saying, you know, Ghost is just a fun children's show. It's just supposed to be lighthearted action and enjoyment. When the Super Sentai series that's airing at the same time, a series that's known to be lighter and more fun than Rider,
and it is lighter and more fun this year,
has a character who has to deal with his mother's fucking death.
The point is, like, you can have...
Alan didn't deal with his father's death. He just didn't talk about it ever again afterwards. Fuck you before you bring that up.
The point is, it can be fun and still be real, as long as it's real. And Zyuohger is pretty real. It
doesn't even have to be real in any way, shape, or form besides the characters acting like living beings.
Yeah.
Like, they react to things like a person would.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I meant. Like, real characters that you care about.
Yeah, the characters have to have a depth.
Yeah. And Zyuohger's characters have a fair... There's a scene in this very episode, actually, that's just... It's a little thing that goes a long way where they find a kid, and the kid's like, oh, I hurt my leg. I was shopping and the mall exploded and fucking... everyone died except for me. I miraculously escaped. But I hurt my leg, and I'm not going to tell my mom because she'll be worried about me and she won't let me go see the fireworks. And Amu is like, you should tell your mom. And Yamato's like, why'd you say that? And Amu's like, well, you know, it was just me and my mom alone growing up, and you learn these sorts of things.
It's a vast oversimplification, but
yeah, but it's
a really great scene.
It informs her character a little, reveals a little bit about her backstory, and it tells you a little why she is the way she is.
That little window into Amu's character is far more than we've ever gotten for anybody in Ghost.
And it feels real. It's not this melodramatic shit like we usually get in Ghost. It's like a normal...
She's like, I used to hide stuff from my mom all the time, and it made her sad, and we were like, she was all I had, and I was all she had, so eventually I learned that the best thing to do is to tell the truth, to make her happy.
Yeah, it's a nice little scene. Nothing like that happens in Ghost.
No. You bring up a good point, though. The mall is destroyed, and everyone in it dies except this child. Every episode of Zyuohger gets more and more... like ridiculously over the top violent in the background, and nobody ever even comments on it.
It's all implied violence. So many buildings are blown up, presumably full of people in this episode.
This episode had like 25 9/11s in it. There were 25 fucking buildings that got obliterated.
And the way the kid talks about it too, he's like, I was just shopping in this mall full of human beings, all with, you know, lives and dreams and people they care about, and it blew up and they all died. But my legs hurt, bro.
He literally says, I was at the mall shopping, and it blew up. And he says that like it's no big fucking deal. Like it happened... Because it does happen all the time in the city.
So. But why would anyone still live in Tokyo?
I don't know. The child... It blew up, and so my legs hurt.
The kid he was walking out of the mall, and his leg was still in the mall. But the rest of him wasn't, so his leg got hurt, but the rest of him got out okay.
Not so for the other 780 people that were in the mall at that time.
No, it was closed for construction, and the kid was in there stealing something. But no, none of the construction workers were there. They were all on lunch, away, outside of the building.
They're not even hiding it, is the thing, though. Like when, what's his face? Floater. What is his name?
The bad guy?
Yeah.
I'm never going to remember the Death Galians' names, other than Hunt Elder and You Thief. He's just a man. He's a sailor man.
He's Papa the Sailor Man. Papa fires his cannons into some buildings, and it cuts to people running and screaming through the streets while debris falls on them. It's not hiding it at all. It's just nobody brings it up, and then they're like sing and dance after the credits with the Zyuohgers.
That's one of the things I would change about Zyuohger is not like that's fucked. That's fucked up. That's a little fucked up. Like even kids,
it's a little much.
Even kids would see that and go, "Holy shit! All those people."
How many little Hiroshis don't have moms to lie to about their leg injuries anymore?
Yeah. What the frig? Good thing your mom wasn't in that mall or any of the other 26,000 buildings that got blown up that day.
How do they keep rebuilding it? You never see, like, a giant hole in the middle of Tokyo when they transform again.
Every episode takes place, like, 6 years apart. Tokyo is they just finished rebuilding, and then there's another giant robot fight that fucks everything up.
Everybody's aging really well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're actors.
How often do Death Galians actually attack, I wonder? Is it like a daily thing?
I imagine it's weekly.
Does Takeshi go into work or something? Like, he goes into his office job and he's standing around the cooler like, yeah, last week my wife got turned into a playing card and she couldn't breathe in it. And then today, the building I'm in just fucking explodes.
I imagine it's a weekly basis, or at least a few days between each attack. But that would be like, wouldn't the country be like under martial law at that point? Or...
You'd imagine that at least the National Guard would be brought in or something.
They wouldn't be able to go to a restaurant. The whole streets would be full of soldiers and shit.
But that's the thing in any tokusatsu, like, we talked about this with Agito and Kuga, where there's, like, serial killer monsters on the loose and everyone knows, but they still go to the park. They still go out to restaurants. They still walk alone at night.
It's a way bigger deal with Kuga because Kuga is so grounded and so realistic, and Zyuohger is just so like we don't even think about it until now. Really, like it's not a huge. It doesn't feel because Zyuohger's not grounded in reality.
No,
it's not. It's just not. It's you're not supposed to think that hard about it. But with Kuga, it really feels weird.
It's sort of out of place in Zyuohger, I think. And maybe it's a kid watching it wouldn't even notice. They'd be like, oh no, the city's getting busted up.
Yeah,
and they don't even think about all the people in the buildings.
They probably wouldn't.
So why is it in there, though?
I don't know. Because it's dramatic and it's visually impressive.
It's dramatic, all right. It's traumatic is what it is.
No, but it's like It's like you said, so the kids can say, oh, the city's getting busted up. We can have a big, explosive, giant robot fight. That's what Sentai's all about.
It's those poor people.
I know. It's sad.
How does Japan even have a population anymore with all these fucking monsters running around serial killing and giants obliterating cities and
it's
kaiju?
It's an exciting place to live. You gotta live in the countryside or else you'll die.
If you live in the countryside, you might get Godzilla stomping through once every 50 years or something, but that's it.
He just passes through. Just stay out of it. He's going to Tokyo. Stay out of his way.
All those people.
Yeah, Zyuohger was good this week. I'm very excited for the next episode.
Yeah, the next episode seems like it's going to have a lot more emotional weight.
Oh, I can't wait.
And that was what I was thinking about when I finished Ghost, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't be watching tokusatsu anymore. Because the emotional weighted episodes and stuff aren't the norm anymore. They're sort of fewer and further between when it comes to shows, and maybe Ghost is tainting my view a lot.
I think it is.
But it's like, and people will argue me that Ghost is a great show and it has great characters, but there's no depth whatsoever. It's all fucking surface level.
I don't know. I think saying it's surface level is being pretty fucking generous. I don't see anything on the surface.
I've seen, like, water droplets falling on a kitchen counter that were deeper than Ghost's characters. There's nothing to them. And then you watch Zyuohger, like, happy dance with the characters after the fucking credits episode.
What's in the box?
Yeah, what animal is in the box? Learn about the animals at your local library. And all the characters are rounded and have personalities and have real feelings and emotions and thoughts and character. And they have real relationships with one another.
Yeah, it's like we fell into Bizarro world. Usually Sentai has the simplistic cast.
I mean, a lot of Sentai do have, like, more to them than that. I'm not gonna shortchange Sentai, but Sentai does have a history of having very two-dimensional characters.
Yeah, at least compared to...
like, classically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, things have obviously changed, and there's always exceptions to every rule. And I wouldn't even call it a rule, because I like Super Sentai.
I'm not as big a fan of Super Sentai as you are, but fuck, if anyone knows any shows that are as good as Zyuohger, I'll go watch them, because I'm loving this show.
Shinkenger.
Shinkenger is got the same...
I don't know if I would say it's as good as Zyuohger so far, but it's
got
really
good characters, yeah.
Yeah, it does have good characters.
Yeah, okay, maybe I'll give Shinkenger a shot.
And it actually has a lot of inner turmoil.
Yeah?
In the cast, because the Shinken Red is a huge fucking dick face.
I've also heard a lot of good things about Zyuohger.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched Zyuohger.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, not Zyuohger. Sorry, Go Busters. I've heard a lot of good things about Go Busters.
Oh yeah, people talk about Go Busters all the time to us and try to get us to watch it. I plan on it.
Yeah, I want to check out Go Busters too. There's too many Go's in Sentai. You got Go Ranger, you got Go 5, you got Go Onger, you got Go Kaiger, you got Go Sager.
They're all very different.
It's easy to mix them up. It's easy to mix up the names, for me.
It's easy to mix them up if you're an idiot.
Yeah, it's easy to mix them up if you have an IQ of 1 digit like me, but... Yeah, that's Sentai. That's the Sentai Minute. That's the Super Sentai Second.
Zyuohger is good and Ghost is bad.
Go watch
as we've
Zyuohger.
learned a million times now.
Yeah, we say it practically every episode. Go watch Zyuohger.
Yeah, if some people aren't watching Zyuohger and they're just listening to us talk about it, you're missing out. Like, this show's really good.
Even if you don't like Sentai, man, I fucking hate Sentai and everyone who likes Sentai, but it's a really good show.
Holy shit.
Sorry, I'll make sure to cut that out in post. That was really, that was way out there.
You have to cut that out, Liam.
Yeah, that would be really embarrassing if that stayed in. Oof.
God, our reputation would be ruined.
Do we have any emails, Jeff?
Dozens of people would stop listening to the podcast.
Do we have any emails, Jeff?
As a matter of fact, we do, but I would like to start with a question we got on Twitter.
Oh.
From Ginga Herb, or Ginga Herb.
Is he a plant or is he Herbert?
He says... he has 2 questions. 1, who's your favorite comic book character? Liam?
Daredevil.
Really? You know that 100% automatically?
Yeah, even before the Netflix show. I'm not a Netflix dude. I always thought Daredevil was really cool. He's got a very unique, neat little power set. I like his costume. He's got cool acrobatics. I like Matt Murdock.
Yeah, I can vouch for Liam. He's liked Daredevil since the moment I met him. Yeah. And that was years and years ago, so...
He's fucking cool. The Netflix series just happened to come along and I liked it too. It was good. What about you, Jeff?
That's such a difficult question. I have no idea how you just had an answer immediately.
It's because I don't read a whole lot of comics. I just know which characters I think are cool.
When I was a kid, it would be really easy for me to answer. It'd be Spider-Man.
I love Spider-Man. Because
I fucking love Spider-Man. Like, as a kid, I was reading, the Clone Saga and shit. And I was like, this is great.
What about Superman? I figured you'd go straight for Superman.
I love Superman as well. You gained an appreciation for Superman when you read the
All-Star.
Grant Morrison All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
So you know how I feel about it.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's a great character. He's just completely misused.
Yeah, a lot of writers don't know what to do with him.
Completely misused. So he's definitely up there as well. Spider-Man still has a place near and dear to my heart. Even though Marvel Comics has spent the last 5 to 10 years just shitting right down his throat. There's been some good stuff in between, the whole Mr. Negative saga, the anti-Venom. That stuff was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get shit that happened, it turned out that Gwen Stacy fucked the Green Goblin.
I remember that.
And got pregnant and had goblin babies.
Oh, I didn't remember that. Holy shit.
Yeah. Somehow this all happened before she was 16 and got her neck fucking snapped.
Jesus.
By the Green Goblin.
Yeah, ironically enough.
Ironically, the Green Goblin killed his own baby mama.
I also like Nightwing. I think Nightwing is cool as shit.
Nightwing is cool.
But that's mainly because when I was a kid, I watched the New Adventures of Batman and Robin after Batman the Animated Series was over. They had that one.
Nightwing series you should read.
Which
it's
Nightwing
not
series?
the late 90s, early 2000s.
I have read a bit of that one, and it is pretty good.
It's not exceptional or anything, but it's decent.
Is that the one where he goes down to Bloodhaven?
Yes.
Yeah, I've read some of that one. It's pretty good.
It's Devin Grayson is the writer on most of it.
Yeah,
and she can get a little weird. Her last name was not Grayson when she was born. I'll put it that way.
Oh.
If you want to talk about a writer getting a little too into the character.
Oh, say no more.
But, yeah, like Superman, Spider-Man, The Flash.
Oh, who doesn't love The Flash?
I don't actually care that much for the Flash TV show past the first season. But I love the Flash. Like, I was a huge fan of, like, the Ostrander Flash in the 90s and the Jeff Johns Flash in the late 90s, early 2000s. Before Jeff Johns went fucking crazy.
Don't let him hear you say that.
No, he's in charge of DC everything now. He's in charge of, like, the DC Cinematic Universe, even.
Yeah, they put him in the chair. Sorry, Zach.
Why it fucking sucks. But,
I thought the Justice League trailer looked alright.
It does. Jeff Johns is alright. He's still not bad. He's not, like, terrible or anything.
Yeah.
But, The Flash is definitely up there for me. And,
Which Flash, though?
Wally West.
Oh, okay, of course.
That's what I grew up reading. Like, the Ostrander Flash, the Jeff Johns Flash is all Wally. Barry's alright. I never had a problem with him. But bringing him back was kind of silly.
What do you think about Jay Garrick?
I love Jay Garrick.
All right.
I like him a lot more as the, like, wizened old veteran.
Yeah.
That has, like, nuggets of wisdom. The old man running at super speed.
Yeah.
Than I do as, like, the full of himself college guy that he was back in the golden age.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't alive for. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Jeff's old, but not that old.
Shit, man, this is tough. I really loved Invincible.
Oh, I read some of Invincible.
The first while, until it got fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Until, like, the writing went off the fucking deep end.
I didn't get that far.
Eventually, people, like, comic readers dubbed him the Man of Murder.
The Man of Murder.
Before the Man of Steel became the Man of Murder. It was Invincible. Murder Boy, they called him.
Jesus.
But, God. I'm only thinking about superheroes shit, too. I should be thinking about other stuff.
Yeah, there's other graphic novels. I like Persepolis.
If I just have to pick something, Spider-Man, still.
He'll
be near and dear to my heart until the day I die.
Yeah,
I fucking love
Spider-Man. Cool.
I could talk about comics forever. I should probably do a podcast about that.
He's got a lot of good costumes, that Spider-Man.
It's like, we're talking about Kamen Rider Ghost. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking terrible. I have to sit and watch this shit every week. And somebody's like, what's your favorite comic character? Well, I fucking love comics. Let's talk about...
We're frauds. We hate Kamen Rider. We're a lie. Go home.
It's tough to think about stuff off the top of my head, though. Just like... there's so much. I love comics. I've read them my whole life.
A lot of comic characters.
And there's so many great comic characters.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd, he's
fun. I fucking love Judge Dredd. There's never been a better satire than Judge Dredd because people who read it and agree with the methodology of the judges and shit have no idea it's a satire.
Do they? Are there people that actually read Judge Dredd and don't know it's a joke?
Oh, yeah. There's a ton of people. There was some dude, I read somewhere, there was a politician in England who said we needed more people like Judge Dredd on the street.
Fuck? That's fucking hilarious.
Miracle Man.
Miracle Man
is a great fucking character.
We've talked about Alan Moore's run of Miracle Man. What a fucking fantastic comic.
In Neil Gaiman's Miracle Man, he becomes less of a character and more of a concept, but...
Is that the one where he becomes a god and lives on top of a mountain? And
Yeah.
Yeah, I read a bit of that, yeah.
Neil Gaiman's is great as well, but it's not the same. It's like a completely different story.
Yeah.
But speaking of Neil Gaiman, like the fucking Dream, Sandman.
The Dream guy.
His name is Dream. Fuck you.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, most of my comic knowledge is through osmosis.
His name is also Morpheus. He's a god. He's got a lot of names. Man, I'm remembering like entry-level pleb shit. But I love it all.
What do you think about Captain Rectitude, eh?
Is that a Canadian superhero?
No.
Captain Canuck?
What do you think about Alpha Flight?
Alpha Flight.
They still
Alpha
make
Flight
Alpha
actually
Flight.
had some good... Yeah, I mean, they don't... It's not like a continuous thing. It's not like the same Alpha Flight from the 80s.
Yeah, but they were in Civil War 2, which is going on right now.
Which is terrible.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was in Civil War 2.
Did you ever read the Spider-Man issue where he teams up with Obama to stop a criminal?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
Yeah, comics are kind of heavy-handed when it comes to politics.
A little bit. They can be.
There is a MODOK right now who is Trump. He's Trump Doc.
I ain't knocking Justin Trudeau or Obama. I like them just fine.
Yeah, I love those guys.
It's weird to have them there.
It really is. Whatever, but hopefully that answered your question. Liam's favorite is Daredevil, and if I had a gun to my head, I'd say Spider-Man.
If you had a gun to your head in 10 seconds, you'd say Spider-Man.
The thing about Spider-Man is, though, he has so many shit comics on top of, like, the really great comics he has, because he's so long. He's been around for so long.
Yeah, it's the law of averages. You gotta have shitty ones eventually.
I mean, for every, like, great Spider-Man story that gets adapted into movies and shit, you have Clone Saga.
The Clone Saga, yeah.
Or a One More Day.
I actually read One More Day. Just sheerly based off how infamous it was, and oh boy, it does not disappoint.
My fucking geriatric aunt is close to death's door, a little bit more than usual, so I'm gonna sell my fucking marriage to the devil. That definitely won't come back to bite me in the ass.
My 98,000-year-old aunt got shot. I better give away my whole life to save her.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
It's like literally Satan as well.
Yeah.
Our hero, Spider-Man, sells his marriage to Satan.
And then there's a whole part where he shows him how awesome his life could have been if he didn't sell his marriage and the daughter he could have had. And it's such a fucking awful comic.
It really is.
Oh.
Anyway, his second question is, when's the next spoiler cast? When it's good fucking ready.
If they have to play golf or tennis or some stupid non-sport in Ghost's time slot or in Exaid's time slot, then we will do a Ryuki spoiler cast.
That's true.
Maybe you can expect a new commentary track before then, but we'll see.
That's true. We should do another commentary track.
Yeah, we should, sometime this week.
I feel like we should do a commentary track on a certain infamous movie.
Which infamous movie? There's a lot of infamous Rider movies.
A certain infamous Kamen Rider movie that I enjoy for all the wrong reasons. That I've subjected our fans to twice now.
The first?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I guess the last one we did was a good one, so we gotta do a bad one now.
We have to do a bad one now.
Yeah.
So, there's an answer to your question, sort of. We'll do a spoiler cast the next time there's Golf Gum.
Yeah, let's put it out here officially. Look forward to the Kamen Rider, the first fucking...
The commentary track.
Commentary track. Coming soon to a theater near you.
Our first email.
Get off Twitter.
Is from the Vacuuminator. The Vacuuminator?
I like this person already.
Vacuuminator. Hey
what
guys.
What was the Vacuuminator asking of us?
The Vacuuminator here. Been a fan of the podcast for a while now, and I even have one of your shirts, which is pretty neat.
Sick.
Yeah, you can get one of our shirts.
Buy a
if you
shirt.
follow us on at Rider Club Radio, I post about new shirts all the time.
Yeah, just shill that right in there.
That's right. I was wondering, will either of you be attending Power Morphicon this year, or do you have any plans to go to it someday? It's the biggest Toku convention in the West, as far as I know, and I think it would be pretty neat to meet you guys there.
I got no plans this year, but I'd like to go someday.
I would love to go someday. I mean, it's like August 12th through 14th. There's absolutely no way we could make it to that.
Also, I have no one to go with other than if Jeff can't make it, I don't like...
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah,
if it wasn't me and Liam going, it'd be nobody.
We'd have to meet each other there. And I'd get a hotel room by myself. I'd just cry.
You don't want to share a hotel room with me? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't.
I don't want to either, but we fucking might have to.
So the answer is not this year, but perhaps someday.
Someday. I would really love to.
Yeah.
Liam and I tend to go to conventions, separately.
Yeah.
And we always post about that on Twitter or on our, on the blog.
Yeah, there's quite a few that come to where I am, but Power Morphicon never comes here.
No. It's always in Pasadena, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've been to like Wizard World twice, and
Yeah, I
Liam's
remember.
been somewhere.
Never been to a convention before.
Really?
Really, never in my life.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I might be going to the Power Up Retro Video Game Convention. If you know where that is, meet me there.
That sounds fun.
It does sound fun. I've never been. It's tiny as fuck, so
That's
we'll
pretty
see.
cool. You won't have trouble spotting Jeff there.
I'll be the idiot.
He'll be the huge beard man.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely gonna stick out in
He'll
a
be the
crowd
guy
of video game players.
He'll be the guy with the stupid accent and terrible opinions.
Well, you'll know me by that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a tall guy with a beard is not gonna stick out in a video game convention,
That's
Liam.
true.
The Vacuuminator says, also, I just wanted to say thank you guys for keeping up with Ghost this whole time. Hearing you guys shit on it each week is literally the only thing that made me be able to get through it so far.
Well, we're glad that someone else is our brothers in arms.
Yeah, we're in this together. You
It's-
guys and us.
This is Ghost is Normandy, and we're all storming it together.
We're the 300, and Ghost,
Ghost
is
is
the
the
Persian
Persians.
army.
Yeah.
We're making our last stand against this shit.
Wait, does that mean we're all gonna die?
We're watching Ghost. Of course it means we're all gonna die. We're all falling, like, one by one,
That's
fucking
true.
dying off at the hands of Ghost. So hopefully that answers your question. We're not going to Power Morphicon this year, but maybe someday.
Send pictures.
Yeah, send us pictures if you go. That sounds pretty fucking sweet.
Think about me.
If there are any Toku people there, take a photo of them. Tell them Rider Club Radio said hi.
Yeah. Shill for us.
They'll be like, who the fuck is that?
Wear a t-shirt.
Yeah, wear one of our t-shirts.
Scream loudly.
I've actually made Rider Club Radio logo shirts that no one has ever bought, so you could buy one.
Sick.
Our next email is from a longtime fan of the show, Copper Popper,
Okay.
who says, "Hey guys, loving the podcast. I'm sad to say that Ghost has finally defeated me. Rip.
Another one bites the dust.
Rip. My question is, what is the best individual shot in Rider from a visual perspective? I've always liked the first Fige Henshin with the slow pan up in the dark."
Oh my fucking god. Oh, that's tough.
I already know my answer.
You go.
My answer is the first time Kuga transforms into his mighty form
Oh, I
in the
love
burning
that
church.
Yeah.
That shot is fucking spectacular. And I mean, the transformation itself isn't like, it's not good. It's like terrible CG.
Yeah, the effects are horrible, but like from a cinematography standpoint.
The shot itself, like, of him actually yelling Henshin and like please see my Henshin or whatever,
Yeah.
with the camera panning around him in the burning church. Mwah! Spectacular. I love it. If I could marry that shot, I would.
Ooh, I think I'm inclined to say it's only like a second long, but it's when Black transforms and he has all the smoke coming off him and he opens his fist and the smoke comes out of his fist. That I
Really?
think is the coolest looking shot.
I think the coolest thing in Black is when he like puts his fists beside his head and he clenches them.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
you hear the leather.
You hear the leather like squeaking, yeah, like
Oh god, that's like the hypest shit to me. I'm
everything
like,
about
yeah,
Black's, yeah, everything about Black's transformation is incredible.
it really is.
I also like there's a bit in Ryuki where he and Knight fight outside of an amusement park.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's one of my favorite like fights. It's a really reluctant fight. I don't want to give too much away about it, but they really both aren't enthusiastic about fighting each other. Like Knight has to, and Ryuki really doesn't want to. And they're standing on a bridge, and there's just this really silent shot, like from right behind Ryuki, and it shows Knight across there, and there's no music or anything. It's just like the mirror world sounds in the background, and they pull out the cards really slowly to get the sword vent.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
is
really
a
cool
pretty good
shot.
shot.
Yeah, I like that one. But there's a lot to choose from.
There really is. Like, I'd have to say Kuga is like the ultimate. If I had to pick like a favorite shot from Black, it would probably be in the first episode when Kotaro is like stumbling out of the building as the horrible monster.
Oh yeah, I love
And he
that.
slowly turns into black
He
as
turns
he
like a
steps
mutant
out.
grasshopper, and then yeah, that's so sick.
I love that shot.
Yeah,
Man,
Yeah, it's a
there's-
good one.
There's a lot to...
yeah. I'm gonna pick the Ryuki one. I'm gonna say that's my favorite.
I'm gonna pick the Kuga one.
Okay. Alright, that's not bad. I like that shot in Kuga when he gives the thumbs up to...
Oh, like the famous thumbs up?
The famous shot with the sun coming in from the side. That's a really nice one.
That is a really nice one as well. There was a lot more effort in cinematography back in them days.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different world nowadays with flat angles and weird 360s.
There was a pretty nice shot in Ghost, even though where Ghost is walking and talking to what's his name, Nobunaga. His the guy who was taken over by Nobunaga. They're walking and talking, and it's like they're in the left side of the frame, and there's like a train tracks in the right side, and like the city behind it, and trees and stuff, and that's beautiful.
There was one pretty cool one in an earlier episode of Ghost where he's talking to Benkei inside of the icon, and they're standing on a bridge over some water, and the way the bridge reflects in the water, it looks like an eye. I thought that was a really neat sort of, like, the top of the bridge is, like, the actual bridge is the top half, and then the reflection in the water is the bottom half. That was a pretty cool little visual trick, and that was in Ghost, so kudos for that.
There's also a shot in one of the Double movies that's like, it's in the opening of all... It was like a recreation of the opening of Double. Where Double is standing on a rooftop with his scarf flowing in the wind and Fudo behind him at night.
Oh, yeah.
And there's also a really beautiful shot when a character dies in Double, I'm not going to name, where he's like leaning up against the edge of a building and there's like a sunset on him and he just sort of slumps over. I might actually pick that one. I don't know. Kuga in the Burning Church is undefeatable.
Yeah, Kuga in the Burning Church was... The whole scene is great, but yeah, that shot is awesome.
So, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
Our next question is from Bopnan.
Bopnan.
Who said, let's see how you try to say my username.
Bopnan.
Let's see how badly I fucked that up. You can tell us. Hello, guys. Hope you're having a nice week, ignoring the fact that you still have to watch Ghost.
It's 20 shitty minutes.
You asked on Twitter how would our favorite video games look as an Exaid form, so I guess it's appropriate to ask, what about yours? We talked about what our favorite genres would look like. We didn't talk about what our specific favorite video game would look like.
I asked this question on Twitter, and a user named Solaire Hazard responded and drew a little picture of what a Thief form would look like, the original Thief game.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks really cool. It's like a gray cloak, like a gray tattered cloak over top of the usual sort of Exaid costume. It's really neat, because you know how...
It does look really good.
Yeah, you know how when you put in another video game, it's like an add-on on top of your costume, like it's an extra red, so that one's like a tattered cloak. It looks really cool. I like that, but there was a lot of fun answers.
Yeah, we got a lot of really fun answers. That was probably my favorite question we've asked on Twitter.
Yeah. How about you start, Jeff?
Oh, God. I thought you were going to start. That's why I sat back for a second.
Oh, I could start.
You already have an answer?
No, but I could wing something.
Jesus Christ.
I talked last week about Morrowind. Morrowind is number one, so I won't say Morrowind again. Or two weeks ago.
If you had like a Morrowind form, what would it just be, like brown?
Yeah, we worked out. It would be brown.
Would you
blocky.
wildly swing a sword and miss 90% of the time?
Yeah. You flail around like an idiot. Yeah, we talked about Morrowind already, so shit, what else could I pick?
See, I really love Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's been one of my favorite games for fucking ever, and I guess it would just be like, you have a sword as your main ability, but you have a bunch of like side weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could throw bombs or boomerangs or whatever, but only one at a time.
I see.
Maybe something like that.
Sort of like a final form, like Kiwami, where you just whip out a weapon.
Maybe, but if it was just a sword, the rider kick move, like the finisher move, could be like the sword spin.
The spin attack, yeah.
Like you gather up the energy and spin and make like the circle, and you could ram into the enemy.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
That's a pretty good one. Somebody on Twitter said Dark Souls, but the secondary rider's already doing that.
Yeah, there's already like a medieval knight rider. You could have like a dude who's like a more like tattered, beaten up sort of armor for Dark Souls than for like a Dragon Quest kind of thing. Because
I always I fucking love the Souls series in general, and I don't know if my favorite is Souls 1 or Demon Souls.
Ooh, I would say those are the only two I've played, and I would say I liked Dark Souls a little more than Demon Souls. Just a little. Just a smidgen more.
Dark Souls builds on everything Demon Souls did well. I mean, it drops some of the concepts.
Yeah, world tendency is gone, and
it goes a little, like, brighter and lighter. Like, even the daytime places in Demon Souls are, like, dark and depressing, like,
they're cloudy.
Overcast and gray. Yeah. In Dark Souls, you could find some places that are actually pretty beautiful and have sun all over them.
Oh yeah, Anne Orlando is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I mean, even like the
Firelink Shrine.
Yeah, Firelink Shrine is pretty beautiful.
A nice little place, yeah.
And even like the terrible forest with the moonlight butterfly in it is pretty beautiful.
I like that place with all the crystals next to Ceith's library.
Oh yeah.
You walk out and you go down the ladder and there's the crystal caves or whatever. That place.
Yeah, that place is gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
You don't get that in Demon Souls. Everything is fucking...
It's a castle or
depressing and dark and...
A horrible tower.
Terrible fucking slave labor mines.
Yeah, mines, yeah.
I love Demon Souls for that, though. It's, like, oppressive.
I wish I could play it again, but it's, like, PS3 exclusive, and I don't have a PS3 anymore. That's a shame.
It is. I am all for everyone getting a copy of every game. Exclusives are silly.
Exclusives be damned. So yeah, I talked a couple weeks ago about Morrowind. I can't say Morrowind again, so I'll say Silent Hill 2. What would a Silent Hill 2 forum be about?
It wouldn't be good for the user, I'll tell you that much.
You put it on and it puts like this unimaginable, unfathomable, whatever cloak on top of you, and anyone who comes close is spooked away.
That's Ragman. It's a DC Comics superhero Ragman.
He's got a spooky cloak?
Yeah, it's got souls in it.
Well shit, now it wouldn't have souls in it. It would have whatever you open the cloak and whatever your opponent's worst thing that they hate the most comes out.
So it's like a boggart?
Yeah, it's like a boggart. What would the weapon be, though? What would Silent Hill 2's weapon be? A boot?
Giant cleaver?
Nah.
You know you love Pyramid Head.
He's fine. There's all kinds of weapons in that game, though. You get like everything from like a board with a nail in it to a full-on shotgun.
It should just be a board with a nail in it.
Yeah, I guess. There's no, like, iconic Silent Hill. I guess... No, there's not really, like, an iconic weapon in Silent Hill. So, there's no crowbar, like, with Half-Life. You could say the chainsaw, maybe? But, like, that's only... You gotta beat the game once to get it, usually, so... Fuck that.
I don't know if I would call that iconic. Like, I'm not huge into Silent Hill or anything, and I don't know about the chainsaw, so... Yeah.
No, there's no... You get a board with a nail in it, I guess. That's your rider weapon. How would they turn that into a toy? It would have to be a gun. There's lots of guns in Silent Hill.
Yeah. You could have a shotgun.
Yeah, you can have a gun, like a gun with a big grabby hand on the end of it.
Choosing a favorite of anything for me is, like, so difficult.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at choosing favorites. I mean, like, I love Mario games.
What would a Mario rider look like?
You do, like, a rider kick, but it would be straight down on top of them.
Yeah.
Like, you jump on top of them. And I guess you'd have, like, a hat instead of the hair. You'd have, like, a Mario hat.
That'd be great.
And your armor would be, like, you'd have armored overalls.
Going on top
and,
of
like, big white armored gloves.
Big Hulk hands.
Yeah. If you're Mario 64, you'd have big polygonal Hulk hands.
Just today, I beat Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo.
For the first time?
For the first time.
That's a really good game.
I liked it a lot. Yeah, the final boss is a little bullshit, but...
I love Mario RPG.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I like Mario and Luigi with, like, a slightly taller version of me appear and fight with me. Mario and Luigi RPG.
The Superstar Saga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
What would a Deus Ex rider look like?
Oh man, you'd have to have like shit that comes out of you to attack with, like metal blades coming out of your elbows.
Well, that's no. I'm talking about original Deus Ex.
Oh, you're talking about original.
Original. You'd attack.
You'd have to have sunglasses over your regular eyes.
You'd attack with incredibly quotable one-liners.
You just have a soundboard on your chest and you'd be able to press "Old Man ruling the world."
Maybe you should try getting a job.
A bomb.
A bomb. You'd have the wrist crossbow could be the weapon. That's very Kamen Rider.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's really difficult for me to choose. I guess I'll go with my Link to the Past. And instead of the hair, you'd have like the Link cap.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That comes out of the helmet.
Yeah.
and it would have like fake hair coming out of it, like the sideburn things that Link has.
Yeah.
And they'd be pink.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my favorite game is Morrowind. I would have to stick with Morrowind.
I think I'll stick with A Link to the Past, since
All right.
somebody else has already said Souls.
Oh, really? You would say Souls is your favorite, maybe?
It's one of my favorite games ever, yeah.
Yeah. They're well-made games. At least the two I played were pretty well-made.
They are. People go fucking nuts for them, though. Like, people go a little too far. They're like, oh, it's the perfect game.
May have gone too far in a few places.
Did they stop playing after they got the Lord Vessel?
Yeah. It's definitely, after you beat Ornstein Smo, it goes way downhill.
Yeah, I mean, it's still alright.
That's the climax of the game, really.
Yeah.
That boss fight.
It's still alright, and if you don't cheese the final boss, if you don't cheese Gwen by just constantly, like, riposte over and over and over again, it's actually a really fun fight.
Yeah.
And it's challenging, but when you can just parry him over and over again, it doesn't matter.
That's a shame.
But then again, I mean, final bosses have never been what the Souls games are about.
Yeah,
in Demon Souls, the final boss is a crumpled up old man that turned into a goo monster.
The true king, yeah.
Although, the actual fight against the false King Alant is the fight before that. And it's fucking
That's the real final boss, really, yeah.
Yeah, it's so terrifying because not only is he like a really tough boss, but he also has a grab attack that steals levels from you.
Yeah, the soul suck.
Oh my god.
Horrible.
We got off topic somewhere.
Yeah, do we have any other emails?
No, but we do have a little bit at the end of this. Bopnan, or however you actually pronounce his username, said, after watching this week's Zyuohger, I'm disappointed at the fact that I know Mega Beast investigator Jaspion won't make a cameo in it, since the villain Bungley is a Mega Beast hunter. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Yeah, you never know. Jaspion could show up at any second.
Jiraiya was in the Ninja, so...
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah, so anything is possible. They might be setting it up. They might be setting up Jaspion.
They would definitely would have told us about that in a scan or something by now, but that would be unbelievable. Yeah. We would have gotten scans like last month being like, hey kids, it's this hero that you don't know about.
Hey kids, tell your parents. And then they can tell their parents.
Oh boy.
So that's all for emails this time. Do you have any final words for the folks at home, Liam?
Please get me out of here.
You're not allowed to say that on the air.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shit.
We're gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah, I'll have to cut that out.
You got a few things you need to cut out. Don't forget to cut them out.
Yeah, I got that editing. That really long neo-Nazi tirade we went on like 10 minutes ago, that's gonna have to go.
Well, cut that out too. You can't mention it.
Oh,
or
yeah,
else they'll
true.
know you.
If they know
that you Heiled Hitler for 5 minutes straight.
There's no point. Yeah. No, that's all I have to say. Please send us an email at riderclubradio@gmail.com. Please shoot us a tweet at riderclubradio. Do all those things. And also, we're going to be making a new commentary track soon for Kamen Rider the First, so look forward to that.
Yeah, write in and tell us if you liked the commentary tracks before, if you thought they were shit, what we can do to make them better, any of that type of stuff.
Great.
And we'll see you next week.
Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye, everybody.